just joining us, I'm going to be giving an introduction here in just a minute. Just going to give some time for the stream to catch up and everything. Alright everybody, my name is Andrew. I am here with the launch pad today. We are out at Starbase in Boca Chica, Texas. We're at the launch site right now, awaiting the arrival of Booster 7. We're taking a look here at the orbital launch mount and the tower, and just kind of monitoring any work SpaceX is doing in the meantime. But we do have strong sentiment that Booster 7 is going to be rolling out from the build site to the launch site in, relatively short time frame here. So we're going to be hanging out here waiting for Booster 7 to come down the road. And of course, once Booster 7 comes down towards the launch site, we will have live views of it rolling right on in here. So that's going to be really cool to see. So stick around, hang with us, enjoy the night. It's beautiful down here at Starbase tonight. Bounce any questions you have in the chat, and we're going to do our best to answer those for you. But yeah, enjoy hanging out here while we wait for Booster 7. Welcome everyone. So I'm keeping my eyes here on the orbital launch mount. They got some. They had some people working on it earlier, and I think they're continuing to prepare the OLM for Booster 7's arrival. After Booster 7 does arrive here down at the launch pad, they will be lifting it up onto the OLM sometime. Whether that happens tonight or within the next couple days, we're not entirely sure yet. But we do expect Booster 7 to roll down here tonight. But I'm gonna zoom in on any work I see happening on the OLM, but I think all teams are kind of preparing for the Booster 7 rollout now. Mosquitoes are not too bad tonight. So far so good actually. I haven't seen a single one. I do have plenty of spray ready to go though if I do see them coming out. The wind is picking up a bit, which is good for the mosquitoes. We should be good, I think. It's still early. They could still come out, but I don't know, I'm feeling pretty good. I haven't seen a single one. I'm seeing some live fireworks over at South Padre Island right now. I could try to pan over and see them, but I don't quite think it's going to be worth it. I don't think you'll really see them great. So Greg asked, what is Booster 7 going to be used for? So Booster 7 was originally intended to be the first orbital, or within the last couple months, we thought that Booster 7 was going to be the first booster used for an orbital flight test of the Starship launch vehicle. However, you might know that 2 or 3 weeks ago at this point, there was an explosion at the base of the pad while Booster 7 was testing. So everybody was speculating, is Booster 7 still going to be the orbital launch vehicle, or are they going to move on to Booster 8? Now, I don't know if we know the exact answer to that question right now, but the fact that they're rolling Booster 7 back down to the launch pad tonight is a good indication that they're not done with Booster 7. So they're definitely going to test the outer 20 engines of Booster 7, and from there, we'll have to kind of wait and see. But my opinion right now is it does look like they're still planning on using Booster 7 for the first orbital launch, though I think they're going to have to look at the testing and see how it happens. The other possibility, which I think is less likely, but still a possibility, is that they're going to throw Booster 7 up on the pad, test the outer 20 engines, and do some testing on it. And then they could use Booster 7 as like the test vehicle for these engines, and then take the engines off and put them on a different booster. I think that's less likely. I think they're going to test everything out and make sure that it's still in good shape for potentially using it for the first ever Starship Orbital flight test, which should be coming down the line within the next couple months, we hope. Thank you for the question. We just had a PA announcement for the pad. Couldn't quite make out what it was, but it was probably for venting. Make a slight adjustment of our sight here. There we go. While we're waiting, I'm gonna unplug the phone here for a second from the charger and just kind of give you a quick overview of what we're looking at here tonight. So let's see how that goes. All right, so right here is the orbital tank farm. This is where SpaceX is keeping all the fuel and propellant that they need for testing and for eventual launch. So I think it takes about 100 tanker trucks to fill up each one of these tanks with fuel and propellant. Yeah, all that fuel and propellant goes into these tanks, then they eventually go into the ship. We have the orbital launch mount, which is kind of just out of view. Sorry for the camera adjustments here. And then, of course, we have the orbital launch tower, the catching arms, the quick disconnect arm. And this way we have ship 24 and Hoppy. And this is the direction that we will see Booster 7 coming down the road and into the site, the launch site here. Booster 7 is tall. We're going to have a great view of it, kind of up this whole section of the sky here. It's going to be really cool. So yeah, that's kind of the views we're working with tonight. But I figured I'd use this opportunity just to kind of give you a small look at what's going on at the launch site tonight in general. We got another question from Jake. How long does the rollout take? So from the moment it rolls out onto the physical road to the time it gets down here varies, and they do seem to be getting quicker, but it's at least a half hour, if not an hour, I would say. Let me plug back in here. Make sure we have plenty of battery for when the booster actually arrives. thanks for all the questions and comments so far. Let us know where you're watching from. I'd like to hear where you're tuning in from. It's really interesting to see, you know, all across the country or the world even, where people are watching from. There's some loud venting going on right now at the orbital launch, orbital tank farm, I should say. Nothing to see. If I see any like visual venting, I'll make sure I pan over. But right now it's just loud. We got some people from Chattanooga, Iowa. Nice. Australia, Brett, nice. Thanks for tuning in from Australia. Donna's watching from California. Hopefully they have no smoking sign posted near those tanks. I haven't seen a sign, but people are pretty good about it. I see people usually walk, you know, quite a bit away from this area to smoke. They definitely do not smoke anywhere on the SpaceX grounds. They come off of the grounds. They're, you know, the private lot there to smoke. Not sure how loud this venting is for all y'all. It's really loud here. That's why it sounds like I'm yelling. But yeah, let me know how it sounds there. It's not gonna last forever. It'll just last a little bit longer if it's really loud. I'm not too sure. Looks like we might have some heavy equipment rolling by here in just a minute. Unless he's turning right around going back into the launch site, I can't tell. Yeah, looks like some heavy equipment just drove out of the launch area and is just using the road to turn around and is driving right back into the launch area. We are bringing this stream to you via Starlink. Not a sponsor, but yeah, we are. This stream is coming to you from satellite. Pretty cool. Why are they doing this at night, Timothy asks. That's actually a really good question. Sorry, I'm just adjusting our camera a little bit just to get us more level. But why are they doing this at night? I don't really know. So I have some speculation on that. So I think there are people at the company, at SpaceX, that are pushing to make Booster 7, you know, move forward at a quicker pace. You know, they could have waited until the road closure on Monday. However, it is not required that SpaceX uses a road closure to move a booster. They can do what's called an intermittent road closure. So I think a little bit of extra pressure to try to get it back here and tested could have been a reason why they're doing it today. And one reason they might have waited for the night is because this road that we're on right now, during the day it is a public road, or it's just a public highway in general. And there's a lot of traffic coming from Brownsville and South Padre Island going to the beach that is off to my left. So I think if they're going to do an intermittent road closure, they want to have the least impact that they do to the local community and traffic. So I think they waited for the night where the traffic is relatively low, and then they'll put up an intermittent road closure and roll the booster down here while there's not a lot of, impeding traffic. I think it's a mixture of all of the above. And if you're just joining us, my name is Andrew. Thanks for joining the launch pad tonight to see a live rollout of Booster 7 from the SpaceX Starbase build site to the launch site. We're waiting to see that happen here. We're going to have live views of that. It's going to be really awesome. And in the meantime, we're taking a look at any work that's going on the orbital launch mount and the tower. I'm going to try to zoom in on one SpaceX employee doing some work. I don't know how it's going to look, so I might just zoom right back out, but let's see. Yeah. So it's hard to see him, but there's somebody working up on the right-hand side of the chopsticks. The elevator is going up right now. Take a look at the orbital launch tower right here. You can see the elevator going up. We'll see how high they go, and I'll see if I can get a view of where they're getting out. Depending on how high they go up, I might not have a good view, but is Elon on site? I do believe Elon is on site. We got a tweet from Elon a little while ago stating that they were going to roll the booster out. So it looked like he was in the high bay or the mega bay at the time, yeah, he was in one of the bays at the time. So for all we know, this could be him going up the elevator right now. Yeah, he was in the mega bay earlier. Can't tell if the elevator has stopped or if it is just behind some of the the infrastructure, but I think it stopped. I'll keep an eye on what's going on up there, and I'll bring you back up if there's anything interesting happening. Yeah, but while we're all hanging out here watching SpaceX do their work, like I said, I'm happy to answer any questions you have about the Booster 7 rollout, about Starbase, about SpaceX, rockets, space, planets, anything in general. So, or you know, anything at all. So please feel free to drop any questions you have in the chat, and we're going to do our best to answer those. But we're just happy that you're out here joining this with us. Couldn't do this all without y'all. So we're gonna keep hanging out here, enjoying the night. Just lean. Oh, we got a pad announcement. Yeah, I can't hear the pad announcement over the venting. From Flying Pictures, is the booster coming out for launch prep or for more testing? We can say that it is coming out for more testing, 100%. Specifically, they're going to test the outer 20 engines. Is it coming out for launch prep? That is a question mark at the moment, but we think so. We think that the testing is leading up to launch prep, but we'll have to, you know, they'll do the testing and we'll have to wait to hear from there. If you take another look at the orbital launch tower, that elevator is coming back down. Apologize for the crazy zoom. We will work on that. We got another question. Cascades asks, curious to how you stream this. Are you just using a phone and cellular connection? Actually, that's a great question. Let me give you a look. Now that the elevator is almost down there. So right now we are. So here's the thing. We weren't really expecting, or at least me personally, I wasn't expecting to see a Booster 7 rollout tonight. So normally I would have a different setup with me, but the way the communication networking method is the same as it always is. Let me show you here. We have our Jeep here. And inside the Jeep is a lot of battery equipment and networking equipment. And then we have this Starlink dish mounted on the back of the Jeep. So the stream is getting beamed up to space and back down to you. Or I guess back down to the internet, and then you're getting the internet through your usual connection. Any idea when a launch could occur? I think it really depends how this testing goes with Booster 7. Also, how Booster 8 is going. We assume Booster 8 is going great, but we don't have any official information whether or not, Booster 8 is going according to plan, but there's no reason to believe otherwise. So as long as Booster 7 or Booster 8 are going to be ready for some static fire testing, I would expect the earliest we could see some static fire testing is in the next week or two, at the earliest. And then I think we want to see some static fire testing of the ship as well. So again, that testing could happen over the next couple weeks, hypothetically. And if all that goes according to plan, we'd want to see some stacking. So they'll put Booster 7 or Booster 7, Booster 8, or Booster number onto the orbital launch mount that we're looking at right now. And then they'll lift up Ship 24 using these chopsticks on top of the booster. They may do some additional testing after that happens. And then at that point, after they make sure that they have their final launch license and everything, they're going to be ready for a launch. So, I'd say I'm in the party where sooner than later. I think we're going to see this thing happen in the next month or two, but we'll have to, we will have to stick around and find out, really. Has Ship 24 completed static fire? Thanks for the question, Michael. Ship 24 has not completed static fires yet. It has undergone several spin prime tests. And actually, before we do see a static fire test, we will see pre-burner tests as well. So no, that's not quite done yet. That's still going to be a prerequisite for any launch activities. Pretty impressive that that one could be literally anywhere in the world and do a live stream over the internet. Isn't it crazy? It's really awesome. It's just so amazing. Like, Starlink is honestly an incredible technology, and obviously satellite internet isn't new, but it is more accessible in my opinion than any options before. So I think it's pretty cool that I could drive this Jeep anywhere in the country and stream. Where is Marvin the Crane? Honestly, I kind of forget which one Marvin is, but we have Crane X. This is Crane X, right? It's actually a great view with the moon here. I can't keep track of all the crane names. I was doing a presentation the other night. Somebody asked me like a very basic question about Starship, and I was like, you know what? I forget the answer to your question right now, just because like all the information is changing down here so fast, and like I'll spend a week learning how, I don't know, chines work, or I'll learn about how the new Raptor 2 works, and then I'll forget some other piece of information, and it just goes in a cycle. At any given week, I could tell you some facts and not tell you some other facts. Kind of funny how it works. There's just so much to absorb down here because everything's just moving so quickly. Yeah, Marvin might be Cranex. SN8 was the most excited you've been? Oh my goodness, absolutely. How could you not? What an exciting moment that was. For anybody just joining, a quick reminder that we are hanging out here down live at the Starbase launch site, waiting for Booster 7 to roll out from the build site down here to the launch site, which will be an absolutely amazing thing to see live. So we're going to be bringing that footage to you from here live on site. So stick around, and in the meantime, just hang out, ask some questions, enjoy the night with us, and yep, that's about it. Kind of hoping this orbital tank farm venting will end soon. I don't think venting is the right word, but they got some sort of machinery spun up and it's loud. Can't even hear myself. I don't quite know what's going on with the tank farm. I wouldn't say it smells like fuel. No, yeah, nothing that I can detect. But, you know, this is normal. This is kind of always happening off and on down here. Yeah. Sounds like maybe some additional equipment is showing up at the build site in preparation for a rollout, maybe. The QD arm has moved. Let me zoom in up on that QD arm and see if we see anything. You know, it could be, yeah, it could be an indication that we could get a rollout and lift. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. How is the humidity down here? It's okay. It's, you know, it depends on the day, depends on the week. I think it's been about, you know, anywhere from 70 or 60 to 70% the last couple days, but lately it's also been like 80, 90%. So it's hot and humid for sure. We haven't gotten rain in way too long. Like it's bad. We are well overdue for rain. our water reserves and stuff are pretty slim, which is really kind of a shame. My body is craving rain. I haven't seen rain. I'm hoping we get some rain soon. The weather down here is crazy. Oh, I think we have a, what do we have, a concrete pourer? Is that what that is? Right on the orbital launch mount here? All right, we have a lift going up towards the orbital launch mount. I guess not really. It's going up towards the tower or the chopstick as well. Flying Picture says, it must be great to actually be there. You bring a little of that to us. Thank you. That is a really nice message. Thank you. That's the whole reason why we're down here. I know I was in the same boat. I was envious of people that were down here, getting to experience this all with their own eyes. And the more the merrier, trying to bring in different perspectives of what's happening down here. So it's my pleasure to be able to bring you these views here tonight and every night that we do streams. So thank you for the kind message. That's really nice of you. And I do recommend visiting if you ever get a chance. It's quite the thing to see. Bob Brink, thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Thank you again, Bob Brink. We can only do these things with your help, and that's the reality of it. We want to be down here more often and bring you as much content as we can when SpaceX is doing kind of the most exciting stuff down here. We're gearing up to orbital launch, which means we're going to be seeing a lot of really cool stuff, and that can only happen with your support. So we appreciate everybody that are just coming here to watch, to hang out, to chat, memberships and donations and all that stuff. It's why we can do these things. So thank you so much, everybody, so far for any level of engagement at all. Thank you. Am I seeing things, or I don't want to call this out if it's not happening, but do the arms move up at all? They might not have moved at all. I don't want to excite if there was no excitement, but let me know if you guys think the arms moved up at all. They might not have. It might just be, I don't know. It might just be me. Curious about your thoughts on Virgin Galactic's tourism plates. See, it's been delayed again until second quarter 2023. I don't think they will survive with the method they're using. Yeah, I mean, I can give you my personal opinion on the whole thing. In my mind, the more the better. Competition is good. Anyway, for the average person to get to space, the more the merrier. You know, these flights are very expensive right now. There's no question about it. Let's not beat around the bush. But the more companies that there are trying to push this envelope, the cheaper it will eventually get. So I am all for Virgin Galactic. I want to see them succeed. I really want to see them fly. It's been a while since their last flight. I think a lot of people are in the same boat as you in those spots. You know, I know they have resources, so I think they just ordered a couple more carriers for the spaceships, which is a good sign. So I mean, I think all things are looking up for them. It's just taking a while. Yeah, it looks like we took a quick look at the replay of our video and scrubbed back and forth. And I don't think there was any movement on those arms. I think it was just me. But we are expecting to see Booster 7 roll down the road today to the launch site, so it's possible that we see those arms lift up Booster 7 tonight. We'll have to, yeah, let's see where they put Booster 7 after they roll it down here, and we'll go from there. Thank you for that message, Pulsar Echo, and for the super chat. We really appreciate that. Again, we can only do these things with your help and your support, so that is really amazing. Thank you. Oh, and Pulsar, thank you again. Thank you again. SpaceX has done a lot of work on cleaning up the orbital launch mount after that explosion a few weeks ago. They did a new paint job, they replaced some panels. I'm sure they probably replaced some wiring and some equipment. But I can tell you right now, the orbital launch mount is looking a lot better than it was looking a couple weeks ago. We get a question, are they launching the new Starlink satellites with the first Starship? So, consensus is kind of, oh my goodness, that loud noise from the orbital tank farm just stopped, and it feels amazing. My ears are no longer getting attacked in all directions. Let's hope it stays that way for a little while. So to answer your question, consensus is going back and forth on that one. We saw some Starlink satellites, or what we thought was Starlink V2 satellites down here at Starbase. And we do know that the Ship 24 has the payload bay for it. So will they try to launch one or multiple Starlink V2s on it? We're not entirely sure. I think I also saw that they might have rolled some of those Starlink satellites back to off-site, not at Starbase. So I think everybody's hoping to see that, but I think it all depends on what orbit they're gonna target. If they'll just get up to orbital velocity, or if they'll actually make a true orbit on the first test. I think a lot of that information has been published, but we'll just have to wait and see. Welcome, Ted. I know Ted is watching. Appreciate you, man. So for anybody just joining, we are hanging out here live at Starbase down in Boca Chica, Texas, with a live shot of the launch site. We're taking a look at the orbital launch mount, the chopsticks, and the tower right now, and we're just kind of hanging out, watching what SpaceX is up to tonight, while we wait for a big event tonight, and that would be the Booster 7 roll to the launch site. So we should be getting live views of the Booster 7 rollout tonight. That is still expected to be happening tonight. So we are just kind of hanging out, enjoying the night, and I thank you all for chilling with me as well. Cascade says that structure is just mind-boggling on how large it really is. Oh, Cascade, it's so true. Even when you're down here in person, it's so hard to fathom the actual scale. Like even here in real life, everything kind of looks a little small, but very occasionally there's just the right conditions outside. I swear, when there's a little bit of like a haze or a fog or a dust layer, the lighting is just right, and occasionally you just feel the scale of everything down here. Depending on the atmospheric conditions. I know that sounds weird, but you really have to see it with your own eyes. It's amazing. It's really incredible. But everything is huge. It's impossible to put into words or even video. Trash Monster, hope you're having a wonderful night. Honestly, Trash, I really am. We got a nice stiff breeze right now, blowing in off the ocean or the Gulf, and it's a clear night. There's no mosquitoes down here. I'm chatting with y'all and feeling all y'all love. So thank you so much for all the chats, all the messages, all the support tonight while we hang out here and wait for Booster 7. So it's a great night. Ooh, we got some venting. I don't see any of it, but something's happening behind the orbital tank farm. Yo, Happy Cappy. Can you get a shot of the production site from where you are? Happy, I actually cannot see the production site from this exact angle, but I do want to say thank you so much for that super chat. That really helps us out. But I can promise you, with your support, we'll get plenty of shots of pictures, and videos of the production site for you, in coming days. So stay tuned for that. Well, we might even do a live stream from the production site at some point soon, just to kind of give you a tour of what all the buildings are and everything down there for those who might not be as caught up on the production site. I think a lot of people take a lot of time looking out here at the launch site. Everybody's pretty familiar with the launch tower, the orbital launch mount, the tank farm, but some people are not as familiar with the high bay, the mid bay, the mega bay, the rocket garden, and all that stuff. And we can get a pretty good view of some of that from the road there. So thank you so much for the support there. We really appreciate that, and we'll do our best to bring some content of the production site to you as soon as possible. Kinjo, are they checking to see if the Starship rocket engine can continue to operate normally? I'm sorry for my poor English. Hey, no, that's perfectly fine, Kinjo. That was eloquently said. I understand what you're asking. Yes, so that is exactly what they're going to be doing. So we saw that anomaly happen a few weeks ago. I think it was 3 Mondays ago. And the question is Booster 7 still safe? Orbital launch tower again. We have the elevator going up, so they're definitely doing some work up there and checking out the QD arm. We did see the QD arm retract a little while ago, which is interesting. But yeah, that's the whole purpose of bringing Booster 7 back down here to the launch site to do some testing on it and see what shape Booster 7's in. Thank you. Julian Roberts says, is it past 10 p.m. there? I think so. What time is it? It is exactly 10:05. Julian Roberts, what time is it where you're from? Where is everybody from? Where are you watching from? Always fun to see kind of where everybody's tuning in from. Yeah, it looks like they got off at the orbital launch. I'm sorry, I keep saying orbital launch mount. They got off at the QD arm. My new goal is to stop saying orbital. I'm just going to refer to things as the tank farm, the launch mount, and the launch tower. That's my goal. Anytime I say orbital, you can call me out. It's just too many words. Looks like some folks are walking down the stairs there. I think. Hard to tell. If there are even stairs. But we will see what they're doing with the QD arm, hopefully later tonight. That lift that is currently working on what looks like the right-hand chopstick. Looks like it's moving around a little bit. Can't really quite tell what they're doing there, but that's down there at the base of the tower. Booster 7 has just started to slowly depart the high bay. All right. We could be seeing things happen here within the next hour. I'm going to repeat myself a few more times here just to make sure that everybody that's tuning in is up to speed. We are enjoying the night down here at Starbase, and we're just taking a look at what SpaceX is working on, and we're hanging out until Booster 7 starts to roll here. So that's going to be really exciting to watch. We're going to see a live shot of Booster 7 rolling from the build site to the launch site. I think Crane X is moving right now. We got some movement on Crane X. I think. Oh yeah, definitely. You think they might try to capture the first stage? So everything that they've been working on lately has indicated that they. Let me put it this way. They are preparing the tower for a catch attempt. Does that mean they're going to try to catch it on the first orbital launch? No, it doesn't mean they will. Will they? Maybe. We just don't know. But they've added some like shock absorber type things to the chopsticks. So everything indicates that is still the plan to try that at some point, which is really exciting. We'll have to just kind of hang tight, and I'm sure we'll learn more about that real soon. I'm going to disconnect from my cable here for a moment, try to get you a better shot of this. I kind of want to walk a little bit closer to the entrance of the launch site. I know I can go pretty far away from my terminal here, but I don't want to accidentally lose connection as well. But let's see where Crane X is going. I feel like it's probably just getting out of the way. Cascade says, there's something about watching this live that's just better. It's the entire community feel to it. Cascades, that's what we're trying to do, really. It's all about community and everybody coming together with this common interest and hanging out and just enjoying our time. So, it's Friday night. Y'all could be doing anything right now. You could be out at the bar. Could be, on your way on vacation or something. But the fact that you're hanging out here with us, we couldn't be any happier about it. So thank you. Crane X is on the move. It might have stopped now, but it just reoriented quite a bit. Michael says, keep an eye on your Starlink battery power. Well, let me show you what we're working with here. We got 81% left of battery power, and at our current power draw, it's going to take 13 hours for us to use up all that battery. So I think we should be good for this stream. But thanks for the question, Matt. Actually, I get to show you a little bit more about how we're doing all this stuff. So good on battery level. Good on battery level. Alexis says, feed on site. This is so cool. Zach, you sound different. Welcome, Alexis. My name is Andrew. I am also here with the Launchpad. Thanks to Zach. Zach's been great to chat with about the Launchpad and the project and everything he's done so far with the project. But I've joined up, and I'm working on the Starbase coverage down here with the Launchpad. I'm excited to be with the team and excited to see the team grow. So that's why I sound a little bit different tonight. Take a look at Starhopper. Hoppy is looking brilliant tonight, as always. Though that glare is making it hard to focus on it. Sorry about that. So much light coming off of it. Zakir, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Does that Starlink dish move or remain stationary? It does move. I haven't quite figured out how it works yet. It seems like once it's got its spot in the sky, it stays like that for a considerable amount of time. But every time I turn it on, it spins around, it finds the best angle, it sticks there, and it does seem to occasionally move. But I think the idea is to have it pointed in the area of the sky that there'll be most overlapping coverage of multiple Starlink satellites as they kind of zigzag across the sky. You know what I've never done? There's some Saharan dust in the air right now, so I can't see the stars. But some night I want to sit out with my Starlink dish and broadcast over like Starlink, and then like try to see any Starlink satellites that actually fly overhead. And you know, I could be like, oh hey, look at that Starlink satellite. I'm broadcasting to that now. That would be really cool. Mike says, what a gorgeous night for a rollout. It really is. Diggity Dog says, do you need any special clearance being out where you are here? No, actually not where we are right now. This is a public road, and there's some flashlights going up at the top of the launch tower as well. When they move the boosters and stuff, they do what's called an intermittent road closure. And access gets a little bit confusing to whether or not you can be, to the areas that you can be during an intermittent road closure. So if you were ever down here and you wanted to see an event like this, just make sure you talk to some people and understand where you can and can't be. It's important to kind of stay out of the way so everybody can, keep coming down here on nights like this and seeing all this stuff with our own eyes. But yeah, just a couple moments ago, I did see some flashlights up the almost the very top of the launch tower. Oops, sorry about the focus. Guitar so HGS. What's the rules there about how close you can get? This is pretty much it. We are as close as you can get. I'd say we're probably about 100 yards from the tank farm. Maybe a little less, but distances are hard to nail down with all the scales down here. And we're probably 300 or 400 yards away from the tower and mount. Granted, I have a feeling those are further than I look. But yeah, this is pretty much as close as you can get. Happy Cappy says, what is your typical speed on Starlink? It's kind of complicated because I went from like Starlink RV to Starlink Home, and it depends on the time of the day. And the only thing that's consistent about it is how inconsistent it is. With that being said, I'm not talking bad about Starlink. We're able to host a live stream down here in the middle of kind of nowhere with no great cell reception. So I'm very, very happy with it. But speeds do tend to be all over the place. Upload seems to be capped at 20, and downloads are anywhere from, so I'm talking best case scenario, like 20 upload, and then like 100, I think I've seen 300 download. Well, actually, I don't know if I've seen 300 download. I've definitely seen 100 download, maybe 200 download. But that's under best case scenario. You might have half that or quarter that, or close to nothing. Alexis, I'm surprised they don't have more security with the way the world is today. Yeah, they do a pretty good job. Um, there's always a sheriff. He's actually to my left-hand side right now. There's always a sheriff down here. There's a security booth at the entrance to the launch site, so it's not like I could just drive right on in there. There has been some incidents in the past where people unknowingly, accidentally kind of drove in there and just drove right by the security booth and stuff. But there's nobody that really cares more about SpaceX's security than SpaceX themselves. So I think anytime that there's an event like that, they're gonna ramp things up, and I don't expect to see anything like that happen again. I think they've got their stuff together now. So yeah, it is kind of insane that we can get so close and hang out here, but it's beautiful that we can, and I'm going to enjoy it for as long as I can in case that ever changes. There would be no opportunity to do something like this at the Cape, Cape Canaveral or anything. We get the elevator coming back down. Seems like Booster 7 is still hanging out at the high bay. I would hope to see it potentially, if we're going to see it move tonight, I think we might see it move within the hour. But we do expect to see it roll out tonight. Jessica says that's very close. Hope we don't have another explosion. You will definitely feel that blast. Yeah, you can't get this close when they're doing testing. They're very safe about keeping people a very, very safe distance. You can't even get within, when they're doing that type of testing, public can't even get within 20 miles of this area from the highway here. You can get up to like 5 miles away on the other side of the canal, but that's there's no road from there to here without going around the canal. So basically, yeah, you can't get within 20 miles with a car or walking, but you can get 5 miles on the beach on the other side. But yeah, it would put it this way: it would not be a good thing if there was any explosion being this close. So that's why they don't let people down here during those tests. Crazy Alex says, when will Starship launch? Thought it was July. So Crazy Alex, there's never been a launch date for Starship yet. But I can tell you we're getting a lot closer than we have ever been. Things started ramping up really fast after the FAA environmental review came back. So when it's going to launch, I can't tell you an exact date or an exact month, but I'll tell you if testing goes according to plan, if they don't run into any major speed bumps, if everything is going smoothly and they get their final launch license and everything, we could hypothetically see a launch out of here in the next month or two. Now, again, that's with everything going perfectly. And it's entirely possible that happens. It's not unreasonable that happens, but we'll have to see. Booster 7 looks like it's moving a little bit more. Cascades. I have a feeling that Elon loves having people see this up close like this. Brings more attention to SpaceX and what they're doing. I do know that SpaceX appreciates people like us that come down here and try to show the world what they're doing. I don't think they want any sort of mainstream media down here or anything. But I think space-focused stuff, I think they're really happy about it, from what I've heard. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. We need more we need more coverage of events like this that are yeah, I mean, I guess unbiased is a good word. I think it is. People that come down and see what's happening on an objective level, um, and providing information is what I like to see. So yeah, media that's providing information on what's happening and leaving. Oh, Crane X is still rolling out of the way. Leaving the viewer up to decide what they want to think. I appreciate that. I can't tell if Crane X is still moving, but it moved quite a bit out of the way. Michael, we could possibly have Booster 7 and 8 at the launch site for testing at the same time. I mean, it's possible. This is just my opinion. They want to do all the testing that they can on the launch mount, and it doesn't take a lot of effort for them to move the booster from the build site to the launch site. So in my opinion, I think if they're testing Booster 7 down here, they're going to leave Booster 8 up there. But I could be wrong. They might have them both down here so they can swap them in and out. It's possible, but my opinion is that's unlikely. But I am definitely 100% willing to be wrong on that one. B7 is fully out of the high bay, so we're going to hope that rolls out onto the road and on its way down here very shortly. Zakir says, don't even watch TV anymore. I'm proper hooked on this. It's so exciting. I agree with you. I'm right there with you. Cascades, I remember spending many late hours back in the early 90s watching NASA TV and the coverage of the space shuttle launches. Yeah, some of those are my best memories with TV and media is watching all the NASA TV stuff. I'm getting excited to see Booster 7 roll out here. This is going to be great. I'm going to take a quick moment to kind of set up, make sure my camera is set up and everything. So, stand by, hang out for a couple minutes, continue to ask your questions. It's just going to take me a couple minutes to get back to you. But enjoy this view of SpaceX working for the next couple minutes. Alright, I have a couple more things to set up, but let me check in with y'all. Justin says, think they will lift it tonight. Honestly, no clue. It's entirely possible. We did see the QD arm move, which makes me think it's more possible than not. But yeah, we'll just have to stay tuned and see. Cascade's never too late to start getting interest in space. This is very, very true. Mike Storm says, do we have a target orbit that Starship will have to hit for their first mission? I have to actually check out the most recent document that came out, but it seems to change over time. So I'd be curious if they release another. Well, they'll have to release another final document when they get their launch license, I believe. So we'll have to wait and see. I almost want to say the last document kind of indicated an orbital velocity, but maybe not a real true orbit. I'll have to check to see what the latest is on that. If anybody knows, feel free to drop that info in the chat. The rollout vehicles are getting into position slowly but surely. Everybody's seeming to be ramping up to this event. If you're just joining us, we're going to see Booster 7 roll out pretty soon. We're going to have a great view of Booster 7 arriving at the launch site just shortly from now, as long as everything goes according to plan. I always get super self-conscious when somebody from SpaceX walks by when I'm saying something that's going to happen tonight. Because for all I know, they're like, little does he know. So when I was saying that about Booster 7 and somebody from SpaceX walked by, I was like, yeah, let me start hedging my bets to make sure. But no, Booster 7 has already rolled out of the high bay, so hopefully we'll see that happening shortly. Do I think the booster will be here by midnight? Let's see, it's I think that's a good estimate, actually. We'll have to wait and see, but if I was to put money on it, I'd say we expected to see it roll out into the road in the next half hour. And I think it'll take just under an hour to get here. So, you know what? I think at the moment, I do believe it might be down here by midnight, yes. Okay, hold on. Now the arms are definitely moving up. Breaking news from Starbase. The chopsticks are definitely being raised up right now. This is the first time I get to see this. All right, everybody, if you're just joining us, we are live here at Starbase at Boca Chica, Texas. We have a live view of the chopstick arms being raised on the launch tower. This is in preparation of Booster 7 rolling out from the build site down here to the launch tower. And my guess is that Booster 7 will be rolled up right alongside of the mount and kind of nestled with these chopsticks. That's what I expect to see. Will there be a lift tonight as well? I'm not entirely sure. But we'll have to find out. We'll have to wait and find out. But those arms are moving right now. And that's cool. Not sure how impressive it looks on screen, but this is the first time I'm seeing these arms move in person, and it's like seeing like a building, it's like seeing a skyscraper in your local downtown, just kind of morphing and transforming. It's just kind of insane to see something of that scale moving. Lars says 10:30 p.m. outside live streaming for us. I love the dedication. Lars, it's honestly my pleasure to be down here and bringing this coverage to you. Captain says, looks very slow. Not sure how they can catch a falling booster when they move that slow. So hey, actually, I'm glad you said that. They recently replaced some of the pistons used on these arms. And while this looks slow, let's remember we're talking about such a huge giant structure. But at the same time, you're right. They are pretty slow. But they recently did a test where the arms moved a lot quicker, thanks to those arms, those new pistons. I think those are specific to the actions of the chopsticks and not it rolling up and down on the tower. But yeah, I think they move a lot quicker than we're seeing it. Screwdriver, did they figure out what caused the problem with the last tests? So yes, I'm sure they know what happened. To be clear, based on what we know, it wasn't caused by a failed test. It wasn't like something with the engines went wrong, or that like there was a problem. It wasn't a failed test. It was just the fact that due to the nature of the test, there was such a large amount of liquid oxygen and potentially some other fuel at the base of the launch tower, or sorry, the mount, and it just became a perfect environment for an explosion if there happened to have been an ignition source, and there was an unexpected ignition source, and that's what caused it to happen. Now, of course, that did some damage, but it wasn't like, it wasn't a failed test that caused it. It was a result of a test, if that makes any sense. All right, Booster 7 is rolling out onto the road. Okay, guys, so guys and girls and everybody that is watching, the excitement's really just about to begin. We're going to keep looking at these arms to see if they're going to move anymore, but Booster 7 is on the road. So we're going to see Booster 7 start rolling down this road, and we're going to get really up close and personal and beautiful, beautiful views of it. So we're going to be seeing that happen in the next half hour, 45 minutes at the most. Basically, we just have to wait for it to drive down the first half of the road. I'm really excited. I hope you're really excited. Let's get some great coverage here tonight. Thank you, everybody, for joining us so far. Thanks for all the messages, all the super chats, all the chatting, just everything, just being here and watching, and it really helps us out. So I appreciate y'all. Oh man, it this tower looks so different with those arms raised up. It just feels so weird to see it like this. I'm gonna be straight up with y'all and honest. After the explosion, like 3 weeks ago, SpaceX has been hard at work and doing all the work on Booster 7 and Booster 8. But it's been from an outside perspective, and only an outside perspective, it's felt a little bit slow down here, and kind of weird. Like we had the explosion, and then there was like the fires, and things slowed way down. And I know SpaceX was hard at work and didn't even think twice about it. Put their heads down and started digging into the issues and diving into it. But it just felt a little weird and off. But being down here tonight and seeing this work in action, seeing these arms lifted for the first time it's the first time for me, and we're gonna see Booster 7 roll down the road. It's really starting to feel like everything's picking back up, starting to feel a little bit better, feeling comfortable, feel like we're full steam ahead, and I'm getting excited for the tests we have upcoming in the next couple weeks. This is good. Spacefarer says, I feel like the amount of animations showing the arms moving with the booster has caused people to be misinformed about what the catch will look like. That could be very true. We really don't know what that's going to look like. Some people have put some good work into figuring out, how it might work with those animations. And I like a lot of the animations, but yeah, what we actually see with our own eyes might be very different. That's a great point. Jucifer, what is that glowing dot under the arms? So there's a couple lights that they got going on under there. And I think they have cameras as well. So when they actually connect the arms to the booster or ship, they have cameras that go up close and check to make sure the connection is looking good. I don't know if those are what they are, if they're just kind of auxiliary I can't even talk. Auxiliary lights. But yeah, they're just lights that could or may not be part of a camera system. Cascade says, who needs sleep, right? I know, right? I would expect to see the sheriffs kind of pull down here pretty quickly here. Seems like the arms are kind of at their max height that they're going to go for right now. I would wonder if they're going to kind of split. They'll kind of do the chopsticks thing. Just going to wipe the lens here for a second. I'm noticing some yeah, I guess that's just how it is. All right, we're still waiting for booster set. Hey, one of those lights actually went off or moved on the chopsticks. We're still waiting for booster 7 to make its way down the road. What's everybody up to? Where's everybody watching from? What was for dinner? Happy says the chops swung over to the right and are more over. Yeah, I was actually just thinking that myself. They did just look like they made some adjustments. B7 is just inching its way from the bay to the road. Sounds good. Hey, let me know if y'all can hear the cables on the chopsticks. They get the cables that use it to pulley it up and down. They sound really cool. They sound like lasers. I don't know if it'll come across on the stream. All right, I got camera 1 set up for the rollout. Camera 2 is going to be a little bit trickier. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to be able to place it, where it won't get run over by cars that leave shortly after the rollout. But camera 1, we got a good spot. Foz says they're gonna lift. Why test the chopsticks otherwise? Oh, they're gonna lift, but the question is it gonna be tonight? Will it be first thing in the morning? We don't really know. But I tend to agree with you. Screwdriver, how did the water suppression test go? Based on what we could see, I think everything went fine. We saw water where it was supposed to be, and on the suborbital pad, I think that's pretty much all we need. They tested S24 suppression earlier. Sorry, working on the focus here. NASA history and theories with Harry. When will Starship be fully ready and when will it launch? So there's a couple different ways to answer that. So when will Starship be fully ready? Does that mean ready to launch, or does that mean ready to have cargo on it, or does that mean ready to have crew on it? And when will it launch? So here are my opinions. I think it could launch in the next couple months. I definitely think it's going to launch this year. And I think there's a pretty good chance that it launches in the next month or two. We'll have to wait and see. But that doesn't mean Starship is ready for full time. I think they're going to continue doing testing, and I think it's going to be a couple years before we see, cargo for customers on board, and definitely quite a few years for a crew to be on board. So, when will Starship be ready for crew? Not for a while. When will Starship be ready for launch? I think pretty dang soon. Any chance to walk it down and leave it closer to the main gate? We got some back channel comms coming in. Yes and no. I'm gonna have a couple cams set up. One is it's a pretty good camera, and I'm gonna just kind of set it up with. It's kind of hard to explain without being able to see where I am right now. But long story short is I don't want to hit record too early. It could still be 10, 15, 20 minutes down the road before when the sheriffs push me back. They usually push you back about where I am right now. So I should be good where I am right now. But if I turn my camera on too early and put it up too close, so we'll see. I'll find a good spot for it though. Jessica, always wonder what is SpaceX doing to make the booster land. Oops, I think I just almost reported. I almost just accidentally reported someone. Make the booster land right between the chopstick. Will they have some sort of sensors the booster catch? Will the chopstick adjust to orient itself? Great question. I think it would make sense that the arms would be able to adjust if the booster was slightly off. Now the arms can't move in and out. They can only move left and right and kind of go into a V shape and stuff. But just a bit if it needed to. And the booster really just has to land perfectly. It really does. But we've seen them land on a drone ship, the Falcon 9, in the middle of the ocean while it's moving many times. So I don't think it's going to be too hard for them to do that. But we'll see if they actually try that anytime soon. The arms are moving. The arms are swinging. They're swinging back towards me. There's somebody up there with a flashlight taking a look as well. And I would expect that we might even see them open up. We're going to get a great vantage point of this. Let me zoom in a little bit. So hopefully we'll continue to see those swing towards me and then maybe open up in a V shape. There they go. They are opening. Got another question. So Starship is going to be uncrewed. If so, when will humans come on board? So yeah, the first few, the first many will be uncrewed. After they nail down dozens or maybe even hundreds of them, they'll stick crew on board. Now let's remember that Starship is contracted to be the lunar lander for humans as a part of the Artemis program, and that's coming together quickly. Quickly might not be the word for it, but it's coming together at a rapid, it's been in progress for such a dang long time, but now it's all happening fast. We have a launch date on the 29th for SLS, and of course that's not going to be crewed, but we'll be seeing crewed SLS launches in the near future. Let's hope. So I don't know. SpaceX is going to push hard and make sure this thing is ready for crew, hopefully in the next few years. Kinjiro says, thanks so much for this live. I've never imagined that I could have the time to watch this live streaming of testing a rocket engine or something to work well enough for launching. Absolutely, it's no problem. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, Kinjo. I really appreciate your presence and your comments here. Uncle June's Gaming says, how long does it take to get to the tower? After it's on the road, it'll take anywhere from 35 minutes to 55 minutes, I'd say. Road is closed. That is a good sign. Booster 7 is about to turn onto the road. Drones are flying around the booster as it rolls. All right, so we should see that booster coming down that road now in just a few minutes. It's all happening here live on the launch pad. Sorry about the focus there. We're working on it. We have an elevator going back up onto the launch tower. Screwdriver says, will Starship need refueling for our return trip from Mars, and if so, how? Oh, return trip from Mars. Yeah, so it definitely need refueling. So most likely what we'll see for like a Mars mission is we'll see one Starship go up into Earth orbit, with crew or cargo, and then we'll see another Starship go up in orbit, and then the two will probably dock together. The second one would just have fuel in it, and they will refuel the Starship that has the cargo or crew in it, and that'll go off to Mars. And then, yeah, if they'll need more fuel to get back. So yeah, they'll either have to send more fuel to Mars. In the long run, they might be able to figure out how to make fuel on Mars, but you know, those things are a long way out. But they might be able to ship a whole second refueler with it. You know, it's going to take many Starship launches to get, you know, to set Mars up before the humans get there. So if we send a couple dozen Starships over there with a bunch of supplies and a bunch of fuel, then the crew can go out and they'll have the supplies and everything waiting for them, including fuel. That's the idea, and that's the theory. B7 is on the road. It is officially on to the road, which means the time is counting down real quick for us to see live shots of Booster 7 here, really up close and personal here. And you know, it'll take a few minutes for it to get down here. It could take a half hour or more, but it's happening very soon. You might even use the word imminent. Imminent is used a little bit too often down here, but I think it's true in this case. They just shut down some more equipment at the tank farm, and now it's super quiet down here. It's very, very quiet. If anybody is just joining us, my name is Andrew. We are here on the launch pad, at the launch pad down here at Starbase. So we're just kind of checking out what SpaceX is up to tonight. And at the very moment, Booster 7, big old rocket booster, has pulled out onto the road, and it's going to drive right by us in you know, maybe a half hour or so. So now's the time to tune in. Thanks so much for coming by. Feel free to ask any questions about what's happening tonight, or SpaceX, anything really in general. But we appreciate everybody that's coming by and hanging out with us. Any messages, all of that support is very appreciated. It's NASA says, will Starship be launched in launch pads, or will there be a separate launch site? In LAX launch pads. I guess I don't know what the first part of the question is, but I think I can answer it either way. Starship will be launched from here at Starbase, Texas. It will be launched from Kennedy Space Center in Florida, most likely. There may even be two launch pads. There might even be two launch pads at Starbase and two at Kennedy. Well, time will tell. And then the idea is to you know, once the ship really gets going, they want to put these things pretty much all over the world. And you'd actually be able to use Starship to travel around the world. But that's quite a ways away from now. But for now, yep, there'll be a launch pad or two down here at Starbase, and there'll be a launch pad or two in Florida. And yeah, we'll hear more after that. But that's how they're starting. Let's go focus. Black Widow says, "Woo, go TLP." Hey, Black Widow, thank you so much for that super chat. Again, I know I said it earlier, but this is what helps us do this. We want to be out here more often and do more of these types of streams. And with your gracious help, we really can. We can do more of this. So this is the only way we can make it happen. I appreciate everybody that's been hanging out in chat. Any questions, anything like that, those all help us so much. And the super chats, we couldn't say thank you enough. We really couldn't. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. Saw a couple cars from the beach area heading up the road. I don't know if they got the memo. Oh, is this the truck that's gonna block people? Oh, he's just pulling into a different spot, I think. Yeah. Might be able to tell at the bottom of the screen as well. There's actually, bottom third might be in the way. Now you might be able to see some people working on the OLM as well. They did just move, so you can't see them at this very moment, but there are a couple people working on the OLM. The arms seem to be in place to kind of receive a booster. Still think they might split a little more, but we'll have to see. E7 is slowly making its way completely onto the road, and then we'll see it speed up a bit and start driving down here. The longest part is really pulling out of the build site and then pulling in the launch site. So downside is it takes a few minutes for it to pull out of the build site, but then once it's on the road, it speeds up quite a bit. And the good news for us is it takes a little bit for it to get into the launch site. They've actually made it quite a bit faster now, but that gives us more time to get some good shots of it and everything. So come on, focus. There we go. Oh yeah. The whole brigade is on its way down here now. I see light up trucks and all sorts of vehicles that are going to be assisting the activities for today. I think we can probably start to transition over to a different view here. Go check this out. I'll keep my eye on the sorry, give me a moment. I'll keep an eye on the arms if they do anything interesting, but I think it's time to get our view heading out this way. Don't forget to ask any questions you might have in the meantime while we're hanging out here waiting for Booster 7 to show up. Happy to do the best I can at answering those for you. Won't have the answer to everything, but I'll do my very best. And when Booster 7 does show up, we're going to get an even better shot than we have now. However, I'm staying nice and close to my vehicle just so I can keep a maximum charge level. But then when Booster 7 gets close, I'll depending on where the sheriff is set up, I'll disconnect from the battery and we'll put you at an even better spot. Kind of want to get that light out of view, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. I think the light is here to stay. It's really doing a number to our focus. Come on. I guess if I have it a little lower. All right, we're looking good. NASA says, what will Starship carry as its cargo? So we don't know what's going to be on the first launch. There's a possibility that it's going to take Starlinks up. We don't quite know if that's going to happen yet. Otherwise, the first Starship may have just a mass simulator in it, so basically it might just be a big block of metal to simulate weight. It might have Starlinks in it. It might have nothing. Not entirely sure. In the future, Starlink will carry people. It'll carry supplies, satellites to orbit, telescopes into space, all sorts of good stuff. Just making some adjustments here, bear with me. It's gonna be blurry for a second while I make some adjustments. All right. There we go. That's the shot right there for now. Cascades, how far is the launch pad from the high bay? So how far is the launch site from the build site? I think it's 2 miles, if I remember right. I think it's about 2 miles. All right, a quick summary and catch up for anybody that might be just joining. We are live with you from Starbase, Texas, down here in Boca Chica. And we are looking at the entrance to the build site. We are live down here. Hello, my name is Andrew. And coming up this road is Booster 7. So a humongous rocket booster is going to be coming down this road in just a little while. I would guess maybe a half hour or so still. I know I said that a little while ago, but I'll update that estimate as we get closer. But it's en route, and we will get an absolutely incredible view from here. So excitement is coming down the line. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And yeah, hang out and enjoy with us. And we'll keep working on these focus. It doesn't like the bright reflection on the hopper. I am thirsty. Jekkas Evans, what do you think will happen tonight? I think we will see Booster 7 come down this road, pull into here, and move its way over the launch tower. And I think it's about 50-50 whether or not that night. But I am positive at this point. Well, you never know. I would say I am 99% sure that Booster 7 will be, there we go, that looks a lot better. Booster 7 will be coming down this road in just a little while. And if we're lucky, the first place we'll see it is actually peeking out right behind these towers. If you look where my hand is, we'll see it cross from left to right behind Starhopper, and then around this bend, and it'll come right down this road here, and it'll be literally right here. It's going to take up this whole field of view. But if it's bright enough, we'll see it approaching from the left side over there. Oh, I thought I thought I changed something, but they actually just turned down the light that was reflecting off of Hoppy. All right, the sheriff's lights are on. He's going to be approaching this way. Let's see what happens. Looks like he's going to be doing a good job at blocking off the beach, so nobody drives off the beach and starts heading down the road towards the booster. And then we'll see another one approach ahead of Booster 7, usually. This will actually be my first booster roll as well. I've seen a bunch of ship rolls, but this is actually going to be my first ever booster roll. And I'm excited to see how tall it looks when it's so close. I don't know if we're going to be able to get a full frame of it when it's close, but that's all right. We're gonna see the best parts of it. We're gonna see the bottom. We'll see all the wheels of the SPMT. We'll see the crew driving the SPMT. We'll see all the vehicles. We'll see the base of the vehicle. If we're lucky, we might be able to see some of the engines sticking out. I don't know what it looks like on the SPMT on the top of my head, but I'm telling you, this is gonna be a sight. This is gonna be really cool. So the lines that attach the catch arms, the chopsticks to the tower, they're hitting the tower. Or not, sorry, they're not hitting the tower, but like they're like with the wind, they're kind of bouncing and making a funny noise. And I can almost swear that I hear somebody like rapping to the noise because it's very repetitive. It's like a metronome. I think there's somebody rapping to the noise of the chopstick arms. All right, we have some more approaching. We have some more approaching sheriffs, indicating that we're getting pretty dang close to this booster showing up. I'll let you know when I first spot it. We are just a few minutes away from seeing this booster come down the road. I know I've said that a few times, but the reality is the sheriff has showed up, which means the booster is not far away now. We'll give you an indication when we first see it. In the meantime, if there's anybody that has any questions, please feel free to let me know. Michael says, you will see the sheriff's flashing light to show the booster is nearing the launch site. Very good, very good. All right, the white cone is moving, which is a great sign. Trying to pick it out on the horizon here, but it's kind of dark and hazy, so I don't see it yet. Hey, thanks so much for that comment. I'm not even sure how to pronounce this. If you could help me pronounce it, that would be awesome. I'll do my best. Bargav Kalambe. That's my best shot. But if you can give me some help with that one, they say you are taking such hard work of making stream in this night. Wow, great work, Launchpad. Thank you so much. I appreciate that comment. You know, it definitely takes some effort to hang out here for some hours and stuff. But the reality is, you know, I'm liking hanging out and talking to anybody that has questions or just chatting, and so you know, I'm having a good night too. But I will be excited to be back later with a big glass of water and some bedtime. But for now, I'm enjoying my time here at Starbase, waiting for Booster 7 to turn around this last corner. We should be seeing it pop out. Oh, I almost think I might see it. I think I can potentially see it, but you won't be able to on camera quite yet, if that's what I'm seeing. It's NASA says, will Starship be the size of Statue of Liberty? If I'm not mistaken, I think it's quite a bit bigger. There's actually a great video out there. I would love to shout it out, but I don't remember who made it. But it actually compares Starship and the Falcon 9 and all these things to familiar things like the size of the Statue of Liberty and other buildings. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Starship's quite a bit bigger. But yeah, I don't know if anybody has a free second. Take a quick Google, see how high Statue of Liberty is, and let's compare it against Starship. Michael, fully stacked Starship is 20 meters taller than the Statue of Liberty. Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing. 20 meters taller. Freeman asks, is Booster 7 the one that exploded? So, yeah, it is. So technically, there was an explosion underneath it, but yeah, for sure, it was the one that was involved in the testing. That ended with an explosion, and it is now rolling down the road, and we should see it any second. It's gonna literally drive almost right past us. But it will pull in. It'll pull into the launch site here. I was gonna potentially move the camera into the road and try to get a better shot without the cars in the way, but yeah, I think this angle is good because you get a wider angle of the opening of the launch site. So yeah, I could move into the center of the road and try to cut some of these cars out, but yeah, this is a pretty good angle for seeing the opening of the launch site. So I could just leave it here. Booster, where are you? No updates on the catch arms. We did see those catch arms move further up the launch tower earlier, like an hour ago, and we saw them rotate into place to receive Booster 7. And now we're waiting for Booster 7 to show up. It's well on its way at this point and should just be around the corner. If there was less dust in the air, I think I could probably see it. But once it comes behind Hoppy there, it'll become very obvious. If you look next to Starhopper on the right-hand side, you can actually see how much dust is in the air right now. All right, y'all. Breaking news. I do have the booster in sight. It is on. You can actually make it out on the camera. Okay, so take a look at your screens, folks. It's not a ton to see yet, but it's very quickly going to come into focus, and it'll drive down this road basically right by us. But right now, you see it sticking out of the top of the, I guess, building. I can point it out right up here. That's the booster. That will slowly move its way over here and down the road, and then it's going to be huge. It's going to literally take up this whole section. It's going to be insane. So we officially have the booster in sight. We're getting real close to the B7 delivery to the launch facility. I actually can't believe how tall Booster 7 looks from so far away already. It's insane. Obviously, I've seen the boosters before, but when they're on the road, it just looks different. You can see it right there. It's going to slowly move down here and up this road right here. Freeman says, sweet, booster action incoming. Yep. This is going to be exciting. Once it gets once it gets a little closer to Hoppy, I'm going to give another introduction to everybody who may have just joined and let them know what we're seeing. Just a quick summary for now before I give a bigger one is Booster 7, which is a giant rocket, is on the road behind this whole facility. That's it right there, and it's going to come around here and be delivered here. I'll talk more about it in just a few minutes when we get a better view of it. Wow. It looks massive. I can't believe how big it looks already. It's going to be huge when it drives by here. It's going to be out of the top of the frame by a lot. All right, now we get a real good view of it. All right, let me give the quick spiel. For anybody that just joined. All right, everybody. My name is Andrew. This is the Launchpad. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are about to see something really exciting. As you can see here, it doesn't look like a ton yet, but this is Booster 7 making its way from the SpaceX Starbase build site down here to the launch site. Booster 7 was undergoing testing 2 or 3 weeks ago, and there was a test that ended in an explosion. and SpaceX is rolling it back to the launch site to test it some more to see what kind of state it's in, to make sure it's good. It just went under heavy investigation and made sure it was in pretty good shape down in the build site. So now we're going to do some more testing to it and see what's happening. I think we're going to see testing of its outer 20 engines. But obviously, in order for that to happen, they need to get that thing down here to the build site, and that's happening right now. It looks a little far away right now, but this is the giant booster, and it's going to come down this road, and it's literally going to be right here in front of us. It's going to drive right by us. It's going to be beautiful to see. Really excited. I'm here to answer any questions you have about this or anything at all. But Booster 7 coming back for some more engine tests. Hopefully we'll see this thing undergo. Maybe I'm wondering if they're going to do some spin prime tests on it again, and then maybe a pre-burner test and some static fire testing, I'm hoping. Question will it be one engine at a time? Will they try to fire 20 engines at a time? Who knows? We will have to find out. But this is very quickly approaching, so now's the time to grab your popcorn, grab your drink. It is just about here, so let's get right into this. This is exciting. I'm going to try to get the best shot we can get here. Got a little bit of a better shot earlier, and I just want to try to see if we can get back there. Just some better exposure. Where Hoppy wasn't looking so bright. So just bear with me while I fiddle around with this for the next 20 seconds, and then we'll have it set. Alright, I don't want to fiddle with it too much, so I think that's where it's at now. Hoppy's a little bit more overexposed than I would like, but the important thing is we're going to see Booster 7. Alright, as you can see, Booster 7 is right behind Starhopper now. You can see it emerging from the right side. And as soon as it hits the end of that fence that you can see right outside of the hopper, Starhopper, it's going to start getting real close real fast. You can see the sheriff is starting to approach, which actually could be good for my lighting. There's a chance that the sheriff asked me personally to start walking a little bit further back. If that's the case, I'll just leave y'all to it, and I'll get a little bit further into a safe distance, but I'll leave stream where it is, and you guys will get the shot. I will start setting up my other camera as well as I knock our camera out. There you go, you see Booster 7. All right, if you have the stream kind of in the background and have been paying too much of attention until Booster 7 arrives, well, Booster 7 has arrived. It's right in front of us.
Overhead drone operations will be occurring for the next hour. Overhead drone operations will be occurring for the next hour.
We just had a very clear Starbase PA announcement saying that there will be overhead drone operations over the next hour. But Booster 7 is here. Bring up the stream. Take a look at B7 in all its glory. We're hoping to see this thing go through rounds of successful engine firing, and hopefully this thing will still be the first ever Starship Super Heavy Booster to go to orbit, well, to deliver a Starship to orbit. Wow. This thing is absolutely massive when it's coming down the road like this. You get a great view of one of the chines up the left-hand side. That's like the small-looking fin thing that's coming off the left. We got a drone. Check that out. Let me know if anybody wants a tighter shot of the base of it. I could always go tight and then bring it back out to this wide angle, but just give me a heads up if anybody would like to see that. Wow. Look at this. I can hear the drone. It's right here. It's like just out of view. All right, I'm gonna do a quick zoom, and then we'll come back to this shot. Let's let that focus for a little bit. Great view of the SPMTs. And the Raptor engines. You can make out the Raptor 2s. You can see the counterweights. I'm kind of manually holding the tripod, so I am gonna rest the tripod down and then re-angle everything, just so it's not shaky. Give me a just 10 here. There we go. Now we'll stay zoomed in here for a minute or two until they start moving it again. I do want to get you a better shot right there. Let's lock that up. Get a good shot of Raptor 2 number 28. It looks like to me that they took some of the protected, like the metal pieces that protect the outside of the bottom of the booster off. This might be worth a quick screenshot and Twitter post. Don't forget to tag the launch pad. You can tag myself if you want as well. On Twitter, I'm sRocketFuture. The Center 13 engines aren't there. Just take a quick look at those wheels, and then we're going to go wide again. You might even be able to hear that drone right above me. All right, take a good look at those Raptors. We're going to be going wide again here in about 10 seconds. Give it a second. Come on. Sorry for all the focus issues. We weren't expecting this thing to roll out tonight, so I don't have the camera I'd like to have, but this one is doing the job. All right, we're gonna leave it like that for a bit. Wow, this thing is massive. I don't think it has its grid fins either. Yeah, so this thing, I'm curious seeing, so now that I see the state of Booster 7 in front of me, I'm curious what, sorry that I blocked it a couple times. I'm curious at what the plan is for it. If it doesn't have, it sounds like maybe it only has its outer ring of engines. I don't see grid fins, but it is dark up there. Are they just gonna get some data with this, or will this still be used for a launch attempt? We don't know, but we'll find out. Wow. I love that view with Hoppy in the background now. That's a picture-worthy shot right there. Zoom out a little bit. I wish I had better zoom control on this. Right there. That orange light off the chines looks so cool. That's the light reflecting off the tank farm. Let's get you angled up a little bit here. All right, y'all, this could be interesting. Let's see how quickly they reopen the road and how far they get Booster 7 back into the launch site before they open the road. Because I think that as soon as all these cars pull into Starbase, the road is going to be reopened, and I might be able to get right up at the entrance to the build site and get another good shot of the base of Booster 7 there. As long as my Starlink signal reaches that far, but I think it does. Worst case, I can move the vehicle. Well, let's see when they reopen the road here. A lot of creaking and cracking, actually. Oops. Hello. It's really hard to contend with these flashing lights with this autofocus. Chopsticks haven't moved, for the record. All right. Lights are off. I'm gonna try to. All right, y'all. I'm gonna try to move right up to the build site. Zach, send me a message. I was gonna say send me a message if we lose signal, but obviously that doesn't make any logical, technical sense. So I'm just gonna try it, and I think I will see my indicator that we've dropped signal if we're not close enough. So let's give it a shot. I'm getting status messages from Zach. Send me a few more if we're still looking good. All right, I'm gonna go get my other camera. I'll be back. All right, y'all, it's very quickly rolling towards the OLM, so we'll follow it there. Okay, we'll start in that way now. All right, I'm getting a little bit far from the Jeep again, so if you have, Zach, if you can send some status messages again. And if my quality does come in and out, I'm going to be driving the Jeep closer to where I'm going anyway, so it will only be temporary. All right, we're going to go here for now. I'm going to move the Jeep here, and then we can go to an even better spot. But if I go any further, we're going to lose signal. Yeah, honestly, I think we can get an even better shot than this, but we'll hang out here for a few. Now, here's the thing. I want to... Actually, if my signal's good, I'm not going to move my Jeep yet. Why does everything look blue? It is not blue in real life. Let me try to fix that for you. Whoa, black and white. That looks sick. Yeah, I'm not sure why it looks blue, but that's okay. We don't necessarily need color accuracy for the type of footage we're filming today. This is all about documenting an exciting moment in history. You know what? This actually will be a good spot for if it lifts. We got another drone coming up off of the right-hand side, just upstream. But when it gets placed on the OLM, are they going to do a lift tonight? How long will it take them to do all that? Okay. Check. We got some steam or smoke or something coming out of the lift arms. I don't know if that's supposed to be happening. I think I heard somebody inside yelling, but I don't want to create rumors. Not yelling as in like in danger, but yelling as in like, whoa, what the heck was that? But what it was, it seems to have stopped, so that's good. Whatever it is, I'm glad I'm downwind of it. hiccups over the next minutes. But Zach, give me a message. I'm curious if stream we got that that whatever that was that came off of the lift arms. Maybe blew a hydraulic line. Yikes. I'm definitely glad I was down or upwind of it.
Attention Orbital Pad. We clear the launch mount and booster hazard. Please clear the launch mount and booster hazard.
We just had a PA announcement to clear the launch mount and booster at this time. Is that because of an issue? Maybe. Is it because of a potential lift? Maybe, but that was interesting. All right, I'm gonna move the Jeep a little closer. The connection may be unstable for a couple minutes here, so stand by. All right, I'm back. Give me a couple thumbs up when we're looking good. So we maybe just witnessed a hydraulic line break on the chopsticks. Now, we don't 100% know exactly what it was until we get confirmation. But from our perspective, it looks like a hydraulic line popped and could be leaking. I do actually kind of get a tinge of something in the air. It smells kind of like oil. Most of it did not blow in my direction, so I think I'm good. I think, you know, I don't think there's any danger involved here. Other than, you know, I don't know what the chopsticks could do if it lost all hydraulic pressure. But yeah, I guess we just don't know. So hopefully it's not a dangerous situation or anything like that. But we're here. We got a sight on it. If it's true that they popped some sort of hose, that is probably not going to look great for a lift tonight. I don't think that sounds like anything that would be a long delay. I think this is something they could probably fix in days or something. This is all speculation, but I can only go off of what I just saw. So I'll tell you what, we're going to stick around for long enough to determine if they're going to continue trying to do something tonight, or if what we just witnessed was some sort of mishap with hydraulic fluid. I'd be really curious if you scrub back and you go to that moment where that happened, if there was anything. Then, you know, we saw a big cloud of of liquid coming off the bottom of it. But did the arms move at all? And shortly after that happened, if you could hear the SpaceX employee yell, I would be really, really curious if you heard that. He was very surprised, I would say. Yeah. And just to let you know, I do have a live stream going. By no means still the need to, but if you at all able to tell me if that was water or whatever we can talk about the phone now. They said there's millions up yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then when I saw that, it didn't look normal. And then I heard so yeah, I mean, I figured it was like just my phone. Whatever. But yeah, I guess we'll see. But I love what you guys are doing. It's so much fun to keep track of. Yep. Hope so. Looking out for anyone who doesn't notice it and stuff. We'll see. Cool, sounds good, man. Well, that was interesting. Just had a quick chat with somebody. No interesting information gained from it, but it was yeah, it was cool. We just chatted with somebody about what's going on. How's it going?
Alright. See that big cloud that happened a while ago?
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
It looked like they either blew a hydraulic line or a fitting popped off.
That's what I was thinking.
At first I thought they collided. From my angle it looked like this. It looks level here now, but from my angle.
Right. Did you hear the guy a few minutes later yell, "Holy sh-"
No, I didn't.
It was like a couple seconds later, so.
Oh wow.
That's what it sounded like.
And did you smell it over there?
I smelled it a little bit.
Smelled like hydraulic fluid.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
transmission fluid or something.
Yeah. So I'm thinking if there was any chance of a lift, if there was really a problem, then that might not be happening. But we'll give it a little bit and see what they were doing.
Yeah. Well, if they blew a line or even popped a fitting like that,
Yeah, it's
I
not
don't think
gonna
they're going to be stacking today tonight.
No.
Alrighty, man. I'll let you get back.
Sounds good, man. It was good to see you.
Yes, sir.
Good old lab padre. Coming over for a quick chat. Good dude. Yeah, so just a couple minutes before lab padre came over and chatted, somebody that works around the SpaceX stuff. He wasn't a SpaceX employee, but he works adjacent to it. He had just missed actually, whatever we saw with the hydraulic fluid. So he wasn't sure what went on. But I will say, they said it's going to be an interesting week ahead. That's all they said. Let's get a little bit zoomed in on those arms there. I'll tell you what, I'll tell you why the tower is blue. It's auto white balance, thinking that those lights on my left hand side are white. When you get a second, Zach, shoot me a message in a couple of minutes. Just let me know what you're thinking about moving forward here. My thoughts are giving it to the top of the hour, see if they give an all clear or anything. But not exactly sure if we're going to be seeing a lift. I don't know for sure that we're not. I make that clear, but let me know your thoughts. All right, quick debrief for everybody watching, anybody that is just joining us, and everybody in general. We witnessed a rollout of Booster 7 from the SpaceX build site down here to the launch site. It was an absolutely beautiful shot. Feel free to rewind a little bit and check that out. Booster 7 then got rolled out to the launch tower and launch mount. We see Booster 7 right up here, and we see the tower and everything. And then just shortly after that, we did see a big plume or puff or something, a large cloud of vapor from the bottom of the arms, and somebody kind of exclaimed in a surprising manner at SpaceX that they were like, yeah, it was they kind of yelled out, being like, what the heck, and our only guess at this moment is it could have been, a fitting popped or a hydraulic leak or something that was unexpected. You can kind of smell it in the air still. But if that is the case, then we don't think that, I personally don't think that there's going to be a lift tonight. If anything at all looked wrong with those arms, they're not going to try to lift this thing tonight. But that being said, we're going to give it another 10, 15 minutes to see if we have any PA announcements or any indication that they're going to move forward with any activity tonight. But it did look like to me that was not an expected thing, and anytime that happens, I think most of the activities for tonight would be on hold. So we're going to do our due diligence here and hang out for another 10 or 15 minutes to make sure that is the case. But if nothing's happening from that point forward, we may wrap up at that time. So now is the time to start getting any questions in that you have about SpaceX, Starbase, Starship, Super Heavy, space in general, rockets in general, NASA, Moon, Artemis, anything, SLS. We'll be answering those over the next 10 minutes or so. So go ahead and drop those in the chat. Let me know where you're watching from. I'll do a final, wrap off in a little bit as well, but I do just want to say thank you to everybody that's been hanging out with us so far tonight. And waiting for Booster 7. It was a pleasure to kind of hang out with y'all and play the waiting game as BU7 rolled down the road. So exciting night. Booster 7 rolled down, some sort of hopefully small anomaly on the catch arms, and hanging out for another 10-15. Ask your questions, and we'll go from there. tell you though, we probably got one of the best shots of that vapor cloud of hydraulic fluid or whatever the heck it was. I'm hearing that a VIP might be at the launch pad right now. You might be able to guess who it is. If you have any guesses, drop them in the chat. But there is a VIP at the launch pad, but we don't have a view. Got some information here. Zach, is that from Elon or is that from another source? Gotcha. But yeah, just more consensus that this was probably hydraulic related, and that if that's true, there likely won't be a lift tonight. In that case, I think it might be time to kind of say thanks and all that, and wrap things up. But Zach, send me a message. Let me know if you're good with that as well. And yeah, we'll go from there. How's it going, man? Good. Andrew. Nice to meet you. With that space flight? No, I'm with actually is that the launch pad? Cool. What about you? Down visiting or you visiting? Yeah. Cool. I'm down here for a bunch of projects. Nice. Campsite. In the market? Yeah. Cool. You get to see the rollout? Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know if you have space for her.
I might be able to make space. Yeah, give me a minute.
Have it solved by then. But
Yeah, I'll at least stop by you. I'll make sure you're good. No problem. All right, everybody, it's time to wrap this up for tonight. So just a quick summary. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We did see Booster 7 roll from the build site down here to the launch site. And then we saw something with the chopsticks that potentially was not supposed to happen. Maybe a hydraulic line popped or a fitting or something. Don't quite know. There'll be more information on that. But the fact that there was any sort of unexpected activity on the chopsticks leads me to think that there's probably not going to be a lift tonight. So we'll keep our eyes on this and see what's going to be happening over the next couple days. But anyway, it should be an interesting week and weeks ahead. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining the Launchpad. I appreciate all of the comments, all of the questions, the super chats and everything tonight. So thank you so much. We couldn't do this without you. If we didn't have a community to be chatting with and answering questions down here, it wouldn't be worth it. So thank you all. I'll talk to you all soon, and we'll see you next time. That's all for me.